Hi, we're here with Blake Morris from Ginkgotree, and he's going to tell us about his cool product, which will be very interesting for Oplerno. Blake?
Yes, hello Daniel and everyone that might be listening. Um, as mentioned, I am with Ginkgotree. We're based in Detroit, Michigan, in the U.S., and we've got just a really kind of easy platform for faculty members to be able to assemble all their course materials that they might already be using, along with their textbook if their course requires one, and then obviously be able to discover new content as well, to be able to organize that, customize that, and then deliver that to the students. So that's kind of the high-level thought about what Ginkgotree is.
So how long have you been doing it about? How long have you been busy?
Yeah, a little over 2 years. So this past academic year, we just we've did several pilots starting in the fall of 2013, so the fall semester 2013, and then the spring semester 2014. And we've been able to gain a lot of valuable feedback from the universities that participated in the pilots, and then we're kind of hitting the ground running this fall with several more joining us, and we're off to a good start. So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like it's exciting for you as well.
It is, yes. Tell me a little bit about Oplerno and what you all have going on there.
Oplerno is an online learning institute of higher learning. So where you could, where at the moment we have approval from the state of Vermont to give out course credit, and we're currently in the process of we're going to submit a letter of intent in September so that we can actually get degree granting status. So now currently we're releasing courses only slowly for faculty members who've finished that course, but at a later stage we're going to be combining them more and releasing, getting a better schedule for releasing courses and things like that. So
okay.
We're very new. We started in August of last year, and we got approval to give course credit in June, I think it was, here for May, June. So yeah, we're a very young start.
Yeah, great. Well, that's a good start, right? Got to get that approval. So good. Yeah. Would you like to go ahead and dive into the demonstration? Would that be helpful? Or you tell me where you'd like to go? Okay.
Oh no, I'd love to see the product. I've had a look at the outside, but I thought it'd be valuable to sit here and talk with you and get a good perspective from your side on how to use it.
Excellent. Let's see if you. Let me just share my screen here. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Okay, so let me just go ahead and log in here. By the way, it looks I kind of saw that that Oplerno uses Canvas. Is that correct? In order to the courses are built within Canvas currently. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons for that is, of course, that because it's open source. So and it also gives us course portability to our faculty members if they were to leave and take their IP with them, because their course is their IP.
Gotcha.
Then of course they got that choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we do have a partnership with Canvas, which means that this login screen that you see right here you wouldn't necessarily see this because we offer single sign-on through Canvas. So once your faculty members or your students are signed into their course in Canvas, we would just add a link to Ginkgotree, perhaps within a module in Canvas, and then students and faculty members would be able to navigate directly into Ginkgotree without having to pause to enter in another password or username, that sort of thing. So this first screen we're looking at here is, this is just a list of the course. These are all sample courses that I've created for demonstration purposes. We'll go ahead and open up one of them. Now, in Ginkgotree, all content lives as a tile, as you see here. So you can pull in almost anything you can think of. So any sort of documents, web pages, videos, PowerPoint presentations, textbook content, any number of things, interactive, web pages or HTML5 interactive type illustrations or that sort of thing can be brought in, and they all live here within Ginkgotree as a tile. These can be organized entirely in such a way that, as the instructor wants them to be, so they can customize the course and build it the way they want it to. So all these topics here can be changed. These tiles themselves, oops, I kind of clicked, I didn't mean to click into it. The tiles themselves can be moved around, organized however you like. That way the instructor really has the control to make the course fit their needs. Let me go ahead and open something up here. So we've got this is just a journal article that we're starting off with here. And so this can be uploaded into Ginkgotree, and we do offer annotation tools here. As you can see, instructors can highlight, can even make comments on the document, calling their students' attention to certain particulars that they want to. Now, the instructor just does this once, and that cascades down to all the students. So all the students would see their comments here. Students also have the ability to highlight, to annotate, to make comments, that sort of thing, for their own study purposes and that sort of thing. So it goes both ways. I'll just click through a few things here. This is just a PowerPoint presentation that's been loaded. Let's see. Not sure why that's happening.
It's because it's a demo, and demos always go wrong there.
You're exactly right. I've actually never seen that screen before.
No,
so,
yeah, well, exactly. Okay. I guarantee that it's going to turn up in a demo.
Yes, of course. So anyway, just a PowerPoint presentation here. This is a YouTube video. Again, it can be loaded and it plays right here within the platform. So students can, instead of having to navigate to a separate, or navigate all the way to YouTube or Vimeo or wherever this video may be hosted, they can view it right here within our platform. Now, the other unique thing that we offer over here on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll notice a unique discussion board for each item of content within the course. So, for example, instructors could, maybe request that their students watch this video, and then they can come over here and type maybe a question or some sort of discussion starter, and this is, kind of just a demonstration course, so there's no actual students enrolled. But you can imagine over here, as students begin to comment and interact with each other and with their instructor, their comments are loaded here as they make them. So, and each piece of content here has its own discussion board. So what that allows is for students to be able to view, read a journal article, view this web page, or watch a video, and then comment and interact with their instructor and with their students, all without ever having to actually leave the page. Their eyes and their mouse don't have to leave the page in order to do that. And so Canvas obviously offers a really great discussion tool for higher level, kind of class level type discussions. But if you really just want your students to maybe read this web page and comment directly on this image or this paragraph or whatever it might be, they can do that right here in a really kind of simple way. So that's what content looks like when it's in. It's really quite simple. In order to add new content, that also is quite simple. There's a couple ways to do it. Just click this little green plus button. And obviously these icons down here are pretty self-explanatory. If an instructor has a document that maybe resides on their computer or maybe on their Google Drive or wherever it might be, they can simply upload that document here. We have a variety of sources that they can choose from. And that would be brought in as a tile. Let me close that. They can also, let's say we want to add a web page. I've got your site brought up here. So let's just say this was some sort of educational resource that the instructor wanted to bring in. Could simply copy the URL, come back here to Ginkgotree, paste it here in the bar, hit go, and it's going to give us a preview of the site. And within a matter of seconds, we now have a tile which contains the web page. Or in the same process as how we would add a YouTube video or a Vimeo video, that sort of thing. It really just takes a few seconds to be able to do that. And then we can, move it wherever we want or organize it in the way we want. Now, the last way, or the last way to add content to the system, this is actually, we have a library of resources within Ginkgotree that faculty members can search and find materials and bring those into their course. So let's say we have a history course. I'll just search for kind of a generic term. We're going to bring up a list of curated resources that we have. So these would all be educational focused resources. First thing we have here is textbook content. So we've reached out to various publishers and come to agreements with them so that we can have their content within our platform. Now, I guess I should ask: Are faculty members using copyrighted textbook for their courses, or are they just using open content, or is it a little bit of both? Or
it's a matter of preference. All of our faculty members have academic freedom, so they can. We don't control what they put in the course. Of course, we ask them to not make their books as expensive as the course.
Yes.
If they're asking $500 for the course, then we don't want them having to pay $1,000 for a book. That would be kind of defeating the point of making education affordable, of course.
Right. Yeah, I saw that was one of the primary objectives of this project for me, was to make education more affordable, make it more accessible to those around the world, which is obviously something that we would, fully support. That's a great mission to be on. So let's just say if an instructor was going to choose a textbook, so these are obviously digital e-texts, which are often just on their own cheaper than a physical textbook. And then on top of that, let me just choose kind of one at random here. So on top of that, instructors can choose just the chapters which they want. So let's say it's maybe an 8-week course or something, and so there's 2 chapters that they don't get to, aren't relevant to the course, and therefore will be unused. As you can see, the starting price of this book happens to be $112, but as I unselect these unused chapters, the price drops down. So you can imagine that you can quickly save your students a significant amount of money when you begin unselecting chapters. And that way, instead of having to pay 100% for a book that maybe only gets used 80% of it, this way the students are only paying for what they're actually using in the course. So I won't go ahead and actually load this book in our course, but what would happen is that each of these different chapters would come in as its own tile, in which case the faculty member could organize those chapters in the way they like. So if they wanted chapter 4 to come before chapter 3, because that's the way they would prefer to teach the course, they can simply drag and drop that tile, that chapter, where they want it. Now, just very briefly, we also have some other open content in here, videos, web pages, that sort of thing. This is all free content that can be added to the course, you know, as the faculty members see fit. So that's pretty much the overview of Ginkgotree. It's pretty simple. It doesn't take long to demonstrate, and the learning curve is quite quick as well. Faculty members and students don't have a steep learning curve to figure out how to build their course in Ginkgotree. It's pretty intuitive, and oh, and another thing to mention maybe is that the student view is exactly the same as the instructor view. So right now I'm logged in as an instructor, and so I have the ability to, you know, move content around. I have the ability to delete content, that sort of thing. Students obviously don't have those capabilities to be able to delete or edit the content, but the actual view in the interface looks exactly the same. So the instructors can know that they've created a course that the course they've created is exactly the way their students will view the course. So.
And I think it's really cool. Really nice. I have a couple of questions though. One of the questions was you said that you could do a lot of the communication on Ginkgotree, and of course. I'd like to have the ability to be able to pull any of the communication that's done on Ginkgotree. If say a course were to end, I don't want any of the student data to get lost. So I would then want to be able to pull the data out of Ginkgotree or the conversations out of Ginkgotree and archive them with the course, for example. Or even so a faculty member could later look back on his course and see, oh yeah, this item got all these comments. And
yes, that's a great point. Yeah, faculty do certainly like to have that ability to learn from previous courses and see what kind of materials actually got a lot of attention and which ones didn't, which ones serve the purposes of the course, and maybe which ones didn't. So the course in Ginkgotree is available as long as the faculty member wants. In other words, we don't delete or remove courses on our own. Faculty have the ability to delete a course if they like, but that's entirely their choice. So all of the content itself and the student comments and interactions would all remain in the course. So faculty members would have access to that for forever, essentially.
No, but is it possible to pull out the data with an API?
The answer at this point is no. It is not possible to do that. However, we are working, we have plans, I should say, to begin working on an API and to integrate more fully with Canvas, in which case there will be some more communication back and forth between Ginkgotree and Canvas, and very likely one of the benefits of that will be the discussion aspects of it. So the answer now is no, but hopefully in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, and a technical question which everybody finds boring. What are you using? Are you using Ember?
It's a Ruby on Rails app, and forgive me, I'm actually not on the technical side, and so I'm not. But I could certainly
just
find out
more out of interest. No, because I know that because it looks like it's a JavaScript app, so I'm assuming that a lot of the stuff is already API-ified in the back end. So I was just thinking for myself.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that. However, like I said, I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
It's more just for my own to scratch and itch data. So, I have another question. We have a lot of course. Each course we offer individually. We offer it to students individually, but it looks to me it looked like in the front you could see all the courses that were on offer for that for the educator, or was it just? Or is this just happens to be the view?
Well, what you're seeing, this is the screen you were referring to, correct? Yes. Okay. So what you're seeing here is this, I'm logged in as an individual instructor. So this instructor would see the courses that they have created. If the students are not enrolled in all of these courses, then they would not see, they would only see the courses that they are enrolled in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to check it. Yeah. I think it's really, really, yes, I think it's really, really cool. Say we wanted to include it in include it as a plugin in Canvas. What kind of prices would we be thinking of?
Yeah.
How much
so
would it
what
cost
we do,
if just say and how much would it cost if one faculty member thought, okay, yeah, I need this for my course, I want to implement this, and how much would it cost per seat, say?
Yeah, so what we do is we charge based on the course. We have a $10 platform fee for the course. Now, if only open content or maybe faculty authored content is used, then it would simply be that $10 for the student. So the student, when they log in, they would be, well, there's a couple different ways we could do it. I'm not sure how how students pay for their courses at your institution. We can do it two different ways. One is to have the student pay the first time they access the course. So the first time they'd access, they would be presented with a pay window. They would pay at that time the $10 for the course, navigate into the course. Every time thereafter, they would simply navigate directly into the course. Obviously, the pay would only be the first time. Or we can allow the students to just navigate directly in, and then we turn around and send an invoice to Oplerno for, if 24 students registered for this course, we would send, invoice to Oplerno for those 24 students. We can do either model. So it's just a $10 platform fee. It doesn't matter how long the course is. If it's a 10-week course or a 16-week course or even longer, whatever. It's only the $10. Instructors do not pay anything for their account. There's no charge to the instructor, and there's no upfront costs of any kind. Now, if an instructor selects a textbook, what I was showing you a few moments ago, obviously the price for the textbook would get rolled in and so it would start at $10 and then go up from there based on the textbook content, because obviously those publishers are going to want their money. But as far as the Ginkgotree charges, it's just that $10. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. No, absolutely. I think the course or the site or the web app is very cool. It's very nice, nicely built. I'm only a little bit concerned with. Currently, we have a number of platforms which we're using, and Canvas being one of them, and we're trying to make sure that basically our interface for each of them isn't really drastically different. So are there ways to say to make it slightly more uniform, so it looks a little bit more like Canvas? I mean, without taking away any of the cool features or the cool animations, but to make it a little bit and look a little bit more like Canvas, so it just slips in there, or is it that's not on the roadmap?
Well, the short answer to your question at this point is no. It maybe we've talked about kind of what you're suggesting, trying to integrate a little more deeply with Canvas in a way that kind of blends the two together more. So that is certainly a possibility for the future, but I hesitate to give you a definitive answer on that at this point, because it's simply too early and for us to know that. So, and also there's basically two ways to access Ginkgotree, the courses in Ginkgotree. One is what we've just been talking about through an integration with an LMS, in your case Canvas. However, Ginkgotree can stand on its own as well, in which case students, the login screen that I showed you at the very beginning, students would simply come directly here, log in with their own username and password, and then be able to access all of their courses there. So the two options exist, either through integration with an LMS or just standalone. So there would be potential, depending obviously on your interest and if it meets your needs and that sort of things, but there would be potential for the course students to come directly to Ginkgotree and bypass Canvas altogether. Those two options exist.
Oh, nice. No, that actually gives me, it brings me to another question. Especially for students who, for example, finished their course, but they've paid for their textbook or they've paid for that they can they'll. You say that it's available as long as the course, as long as the faculty member allows it to be available. But somebody who's paid for the textbook or the electronic access, that's a session-based payment, or is they don't get it when they don't pay for the copy of the real copy of the book? They just pay for access to the book. Is that correct?
Yes, that's a very good question, very good point to bring up. Yes, it is a rental-based. The textbook would be rental-based. So once the length of that rental was complete, the textbook would be removed from the course. All of the other materials would remain in Ginkgotree for, as long as the faculty member desires, but the textbook would be removed. However, we are working with the publishers to allow an alternative for students to be able, for an additional fee, an additional, I don't at all know what it would be, but $10 or $15 or something like that, to be able to purchase the book outright. So in that case, and that would be optional for the students, if they chose to do that, they could instead of just renting the book, actually purchase the rights to the book, and then have that for forever, essentially. Yeah. But as of right now, that is not available. I want to be clear about that. That option, the only option we have available at the moment is the rental, but very likely in the not too distant future, we will have an option for purchasing.
Okay. Well, you can hear I have a child crying in the background.
Yes.
No. I think I've posed most of the questions that I had that I'd written down while you were giving giving your demonstration. I think it's really cool. I'm going to. I think that certainly. We should use it, or at least turn it on within Canvas, since only students would need to pay for it. We'd have to discuss exactly how we would have our students pay for it. So whether they get a login screen, or that it would of course be on demand of the or based on the faculty member whether they're using it or not. But I think it's actually something that we can turn on. Not today because I'm going to go eat something, but maybe this week somewhere we can turn it on and start giving our faculty members the possibility. Yeah. Especially we've had, as I said to you, we've had some talked about having books or having expensive books in there, and a rental for a book would of course be far better for and. Also, that you can rent parts of books, so you can rent chapter 5 through 11, and not rent the rest of the book, which is I think, with somebody who has costs in mind and is trying to keep their own education affordable, and it's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think your vision at Oplerno aligns very closely with our vision at Ginkgotree. What we're trying to, we obviously are just making a tool, and we're trying to make that tool fit some of the exact things that you guys are working on there. You know, greater accessibility, lower costs, ease of use for faculty members and for students, and really letting the content come to the surface and let the instructor actually customize and design the course in a way that suits their needs instead of being stuck with a bound textbook or something like that. Yeah. So great. Well, I've really enjoyed our conversation. If you don't mind, I'll follow up in an email to you with some additional information about the integration with Canvas. That way you have that at hand should you need it, and then obviously feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to assist in any way I can.
Thank you very much, and thank you for coming on. Great. Although we don't have any viewers at the moment, I know that this week that it will certainly be viewed by our faculty members. So I'm very happy you were able to join me like this.
Great.
So I just want to say for our viewers, we have a course starting today. Introduction to Business. Don't forget, there are a couple of places left, so please join us. Okay, and well, that's that. Thank you very much, Blake. I have a very nice day or nice evening, and I'll see you online.
Okay, great. Thanks, Daniel. Bye-bye.